Back off, stranger, unless you want trouble.
So this is my modded playthrough. I'm not going to go into the full description, but basically it's like Narnia, but with all these dead soldiers who have reincarnated in this mythical land. And now it's like this Age of Empires style Bannerlord game where you level up through the ages, and we got characters from all different civilizations and eras.
On my flank!
Here's my first match versus like 100 and something bandits, and this is a mod called More Bandits. As you can see, I took my cavalry and I stopped right in front of their line and turned around, so none of my cavalry get caught up in their not a shield wall, but their line formation. And I'm doing what's called a hit and run. This is probably one of my favorite techniques. And what you do is you either fly by, hit them, do a circle and come back, or you circle around. You circle around the enemy. But what you want to do is go wide, and you gotta watch your cavalry so you don't run them into the enemies. And if you keep circling them, then what happens is you just keep getting free shots with your ranged, with archery as well as throwing items. And here's my formation. This is one of my favorite formations. It's shield wall up front with a pike formation or a polearm formation behind them. And what that does is it allows you to get that shield wall protection, but your pikemen and your polearms will actually work with the shield wall, and they'll get free shots and they'll defend the edges of the shield wall. There, I'm just moving my pole arms up ahead now. And this one's pretty much already a win. Just a little warm up. And what I'm doing is I'm going to be skipping a lot of the travel and certain things, but this is all done in one playthrough. It was about an hour and a half of gameplay, and I'm just going to show you my settings. I'm going to switch to easy instead of very easy. Everything else is on realistic damage, and you'll notice I start winning a lot of these wars, and you might think it's because my troops are overpowered, but the enemies have equally, if not more powerful modded troops than me. So these formations I'm going to be using will work no matter what type of modded playthrough you got. Some of the things I've stolen from Deadliest Warrior, the show. They actually break down a lot of techniques. And the Sun Tzu arrow trap and the Crazy Horse hit and run are some of my favorite. I like feint retreats too, but usually I'll mix them all together. I'll do a hit and run, I'll lead them back to a feint retreat where they fall into like a Sun Tzu arrow trap. Like, you'll kind of see that happen throughout this whole episode, maybe even the next one. You see, I pulled my cavalry just a little too close, so I try to turn them around before we lose some horses. We're gonna take another run at these guys. And because these guys aren't infantry, we can move through them because they're a loose formation of ranged cavalry. So we can get in the mix with them. But if it was infantry, I would suggest doing hit and runs. See, See, now we're driving them back so they can't attack our archers and infantry. And this is if I have enough infantry, cavalry, this is what I'll do at the start of every battle. And what you do is you just break up formations and you get the enemies moving. This is the same battle here, just fast forwarded a little bit. I was really on fire on this match with the javelin. Some days I just can't hit nothing. But I took a little break from Bannerlord, and I think my mind was just right. What I've decided to do is reboot my Fellowship series, which is like this fellowship of historical freedom fighter type characters like Braveheart, Crazy Horse, and then it's got other characters like Joan of Arc, King Arthur, Sun Tzu, Miyoto Musashi. And it's like a total mythical playthrough, so we got a lot of like wizards, shamans, mages. There's also muskets, so it makes for some really interesting like pike and shot formations. I'm starting to really have fun with it as of lately, as far as using different strategies. And I wish I could have shown you guys, like I do a lot of testing off screen, meaning like I don't record and share it all the time. Like when I edited troops, I would have to play and make sure it's running before I continue on my campaign or my sandbox, right? And during some of the tests, I got absolutely destroyed by even smaller armies, and it all comes down to the tier of troops. Because on here, tier 6 and 5 troops are essentially mythical or legendary demigod type characters. So for a peasant, probably 10 of them probably couldn't take down one tier 6 guy. So to put that in perspective, like, you know, even if it was 5 to 1, they'd have a tough time. So only 100 tier 6 troops would be really comparable to a large army of lower tier troops. It could be thousands. So what I'm saying is the techniques still matter. It's not just because I got this really badass fellowship with superpowers and all that, because the enemies do too, but what it comes down to is whether they got high or low level troops. What I'm going to be doing this time though is, in the last series I was kind of more or less testing everything out, but now that I got everything the way I want it, I'm going to do a constant playthrough here. And hopefully you guys get to see what happens when I run into a large army of high tier mages and musketeers. If you see here, these are peasants. These are Khazoot peasants. And there's another easy win. This is my favorite part about these mods, is like as it's raining fire arrows, I can run out there like a hero and actually fight a steady stream of these guys and get a bunch of kills. Protocol, we always let women and children go, and then we take prisoner the men, and then we sell them off just to kind of keep them busy for a bit and off our villages and stop them from assaulting our castles. let the women go just in case we gotta build a relationship with them later. And like these guys, I didn't feel like I could do anything against them. From what I've seen so far, the Aserai are pretty rich and they haven't lost their initial wave of top tier warriors, so they're gonna have a lot of tier 4, 5, and 6, so I avoid that. I'm gonna let them keep that castle and I'm gonna get them back later for that. So up against the Crusade, this is one of my favorite teams to go up against. So I set up this little trap over this ridge. But of course I'm going to start off with this this hit and run just to kind of see what the other army's going to be doing. I just like to run up and exchange a few spears and arrows with them, see what type of troops they got. And I'm going to use this terrain like a scout here. Now my cavalry is now cutting them off to keep them away from our archers on the top of the hill. Just a little hesitant here because I don't want to hit my own troops. So far, all my troops are safe because we're behind the hills, and this is a somewhat even exchange here with their cavalry. I think we're getting more kills though. Now I'm just gonna pull them back here so we can defend our own troops. Now's a good time to pull out polearm and attack him that way, but it's actually on fire with this javelin. I got a super javelin. Sometimes I add the explosions to them, but it's a little too overpowered. So then it's like a thunderbolt javelin. What we gotta do is we gotta take out these mages and archers circling us, because they're just getting free kills, free hits. As you can see, I got a couple pike squares back here. One of them is shield prioritized, the others are polearm, and that's just so I can use one as a screen and one as a more offensive square. Oh, nice. So how I started this was my little warband and custom companion, and then I just started adding, you know, item imports and what's called gameplay tweaks, things like partial parry, knock them down, dismemberment, things that just make the battles a little different. Like, it's still Bannerlord, but it's been, some of the RPG elements have been changed. I give everybody on the field heal on kill except for myself, because if I got it, I could stay alive basically forever. So what I learned is I give it to the heroes and my companions, because then it makes them a little more like a real player. They can actually survive an entire battle, which is nice. And then I give a very minor heal on kill for troops as a momentum factor. So if you're getting kills, your team's getting hyped and you're recovering just a tiny bit. Another thing I did was attack speed is faster but does less damage, so it's harder to defend. But killing a knight is not easy. If someone's fully armored, it is very hard to take them out, especially with smaller items like one-handed swords. There's a lot of mythical blades and items and things, so there is a balance, and there's some characters that have insta-kills, so you gotta stay sharp out on the field. So even though I'm more dangerous, the whole world is more dangerous too. All the mods apply to them, the partial parry, the knock them down. I believe dismemberment as well. Actually, I think I disabled it for everyone for, you know, just for lag. So, you see what we're doing here is we're waiting for them to come over the hilltop so we can rain arrows down on them. And what that means is they can't hit us from far away, and once they come over the hill, they're just bombarded. These battles are just warm-ups. I'm not too sure if I should just... I might start leaving out some of these as the story continues. We're gonna probably focus on like larger battles. But I just wanted to level up my troops and then, you know, just get things started. I thought I would just share kind of the progression, so it's not like just starting off in the middle of a war. But like what I did was this is carrying over from my last series, so that's why I got a full army with leveled up companions and everything. What I'm gonna do is I'm gonna be like changing leader quite a bit depending on the scenarios and my armies. Oh, nice hit. Thought I'd give him an honorable duel. Wasn't really worth it. Alright, now it's time to take out the trash and to just send in everybody. Another easy battle. I'm sort of taking it easy, trying to preserve my troops until I get into some big battles, because it's going to happen soon where I'm really outnumbered. It's going to be a little bit later on. The first couple wars are going to be just warm-ups. Damn, I hate running into these damn spikes. one time I added this mod called Fight to the Finish, and I almost think it left something behind because I disabled it, but you can see like every time I've got to hunt down every single troop on the field. It's a little bit annoying. It makes things like last a little bit longer, but not too big of a deal. Just makes me want to fast forward these last parts though. I think I have a few battles on this map before the end of the 3rd episode. Hopefully we get to break down a few of these techniques I used. We're just chasing this one guy down. For some reason they're just not leaving the area. I also think it might have something to do with the modded troops. But I don't really know though. But oh well, it's just something I gotta deal with. Kill them all. There we go. So we lost 55 injured versus their 250. Which ain't bad because Khuzait's got some really good troops. These, I called them Khuzait Shogun and Khuzait Daimo. And there's also mounted Daimo, mounted Shogun, which are just, they're just cool names I used to name the elite samurai. But I know, I think a Shogun would have been more like a lord or a lieutenant. But what I did was I just used that cool word just to name one of these elite samurai. There was one there. Shogun Rider. Well, they're just names. They're not really meant to be shoguns or daimos. As you can see, troops from all different eras, all fighting under one banner. I was a huge fan of Age of Empires growing up. And I never played Age of Mythology, but I've definitely added that to the mix. Alright, we're just jumping right into another battle here. That is the Fire Sword mod. Whoever's the leader gets the fire mod. There is a way to make my troops and the enemy heroes have it too, but it's a little too much CPU usage with it all on. So like how I created this world is with just item imports. Like example is like you just import some Asian armors, some samurai armors, and then you have my little warband, and then you can now edit your Khuzait troops with samurai armor. It definitely takes a while, but you know, it's actually worth it once you get it running. But I had two ideas. One, I was going to do a mythological playthrough. Another one, I was going to do like kind of this historic playthrough, and then it was going to be similar to the Age of Empires with leveling up through the ages, but I was going to use historical inspired armors. But this ended up being my test. I mashed them both together, both ideas I mean. So it's still got that Age of Empires historical inspiration, but it's in this mythological setting, so I don't have to get things perfect. Because I know a lot of people, it trigger them if you claim something's historical but you got it real inaccurate, then it's like, then people gotta let you know, right? So what I did was I just made it fantasy RPG with mythology. That way the inaccuracies aren't really as important, because these are just like The troops are just inspired. This was another easy match, so didn't really break down what was going on here. But as you can see, we used the top of that ridge to rain down arrows, and now we're just going to clean up the trash. Look at the score. Look at only one loss versus their, oh well, they only had 6 troops, but I think we caught these guys raiding a village, so that's why I ended up whipping on them. Alright, I think this is the big battle that we're gonna finish the episode off with. The episode was gonna be twice as long, but I thought, no, it's quite a bit, pretty long. Pretty hard to commentate over, you know, an hour and a half video, and I figured I'll break them up into 2. The second part is going to have a lot more bigger battles. Look, that was from the intro there. The enemies raining fire arrows. So like I mentioned, I'm using the hit and run here. Just exchanging javelins back and forth. Holy shit. I think that was just me. Now I'm bringing in my troops. I'm gonna bring them in for a little hit and run too.
Forward! Move! Follow me!
Holy shit. I should try to get more views of that from far away. It's one of my favorite parts is the fire arrows and the projectiles and missiles and muskets and mages fighting back and forth. And it makes these pike and shot formations almost superior. But they work no matter what you're using, if it's arrows, bows, crossbows, mages, muskets, blunderbusses. Projectile is a projectile in the game. Pretty nice lighting in this episode here. This is a real cinematic battle. Ooh, look at that, like 4 in a row. Ooh, 6 kills with 2 javelins. Now I'm gonna retire these, this cavalry. Looks like we lost a couple horses. You know, before they're all taken out, I like to send them back, just in case we need them again.
Follow me! Forward! Forward! So follow me! Forward! Move!
I'm just moving my troops around just to see what these guys are gonna do.
Hold fire! Fire at will!
My job is pretty much to keep my army alive at all costs, and as long as I can keep my archers and my cavalry, my infantry alive, they're all going to keep working as this trinity. But I like getting in there and doing all the killing. And moving by yourself sometimes is better than with the unit behind you, because when you call in your cavalry ranged and melee, they move a lot slower than you, then you gotta watch out for them, leading them into a trap. But weaving in and out of fire arrows by yourself is pretty easy. There we go, look at that, mostly green kills. It's over at this point. These nighttime battles were a little bit hard for me to see because I'm actually in this VR world. I can see in front of me what's going on, but it's a little bit dark. So I mostly just was yakking. I think in the next episode I'll be able to break down more of these techniques I'm using. I think in this one, in the first episode here, the troop amount was a little low. I ended up turning it up. I'm just kind of testing it slowly to make sure I'm not getting like these lag issues like on the first episode. This is the second, and got a third episode coming up. I'm just trying to get it so I can play without like dropping a bunch of frames on me. But also, these smaller battles are a little bit drawn out. I wish I could have a big, over 1,000-man battle, but don't know if, because of all my mods, I don't think I can. And actually I could, but I'd have to turn down the settings to so poor. It would look like a mobile game. But I still might do that because just to show bigger battles. We'll have to see if people can ignore like Minecraft type graphics. For me, it doesn't really matter, but like when I'm playing, I can turn down the graphics, but for if you're making like a series or something to upload, you kind of want it to look halfway decent. Well, this is another one. Another bandit party bites the dust. I think this is pretty much the end of the episode here. I can't quite remember at the moment. Let's just watch and see what happens. So if you look here, look, we got almost no casualties. I mean, 50 knockouts, 15 deaths versus their 500. So they actually had a pretty big army. I wish I kind of showed more. I clipped out a little too much. Just trying to shorten time. But I think this is the end of the episode here. So thanks for watching. Let me know if there's anything you'd like to know about setting up your own modded gameplay, or if you have any questions about tactics. Maybe there wasn't as much displayed in this episode, but that's something I'm going to add. Is I'm going to try to break down what I'm doing. Because I was getting some of these wars, I end up winning with only losing like 10 troops, versus like this one where they ended up losing hundreds. We only lost barely over a dozen. And I showed you that it's on realistic damage for my troops. I'm the only one who gets a damage buff with the but I will turn that off at the beginning of next episode just to test it out. But thanks for watching, and I will catch you guys on the next one.